You're scrolling through Instagram at 2 a.m. Again. You told yourself you'd study for that certification exam. You told yourself you'd finally learn that programming language. But here you are, watching some guy explain why ancient civilizations were actually smarter than us. And here's the thing that really messes with your head, you start to believe him. Because it feels true. It feels like you used to be sharper. Like your brain had more horsepower. Like the 16-year-old version of you could learn faster, think clearer, and actually finish what he started. So you ask yourself the question, is intelligence fixed? Did I miss some critical window? Am I just stuck here? Here's what nobody's telling you, IQ scores can increase by 15 to 20 points in adulthood. That's more than one standard deviation. That's the difference between average and above average. But it's not about doing brain games or taking nootropics. It's about understanding one specific mechanism in your prefrontal cortex that you've been accidentally destroying. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what that mechanism is, why it's broken, and a 3-step protocol to rebuild it. Let me explain what's actually happening in your brain right now. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain right behind your forehead, is like the CEO of a company. Its job is working memory, impulse control, and something called fluid intelligence. That's your ability to solve new problems. Not recall facts. Not remember formulas. But to think through something you've never seen before. And here's the critical part, fluid intelligence isn't fixed. It's built on something called synaptic density. Think of it like this, your brain is a city. Intelligence isn't about how big the city is. It's about how many roads connect the buildings. More connections means faster information transfer. Faster transfer means better problem solving. Now here's where it gets interesting. Every time you learn something difficult, something that makes your brain hurt, you're literally building new roads. This is neuroplasticity. Your brain physically changes structure. New dendrites grow. New synapses form. The city expands. But here's the problem, neuroplasticity has an enemy. And that enemy is something called cognitive load erosion. Here's how it works. Your prefrontal cortex runs on glucose and oxygen. It's an expensive organ. It burns about 20% of your body's energy despite being only 2% of your body weight. And it has a limited battery each day. Every time you make a decision, resist an impulse, or force yourself to focus on something boring, you drain that battery. This is normal. This is fine. But here's what's not normal. The modern digital environment forces your prefrontal cortex to make thousands of micro-decisions every single day that your ancestors never had to make. Notification comes in. Do I check it? New tab opens. Do I close it? Video autoplays. Do I watch it? Email arrives. Do I respond now? Each one of these is a tiny withdrawal from your cognitive battery. And here's the cruel part, by the time you sit down to do something that actually matters, study, learn, build something, your prefrontal cortex is already exhausted. So you can't focus. You can't think clearly. And you definitely can't engage in the kind of difficult cognitive work that would actually build new synaptic connections. You're stuck in a loop, your brain is too tired to do the hard work that would make your brain stronger. And over months and years, something worse happens. Your brain starts pruning the roads you don't use. Use it or lose it. Synaptic density decreases. The city shrinks. And that feeling you have, that you're getting dumber, is actually biochemically accurate. Alright. Here's how you reverse this. Step 1, implement cognitive friction reduction. For the next 30 days, you're going to protect your prefrontal cortex like it's a limited resource. Because it is. Reduce usage of every app which uses algorithm. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Reddit, Twitter. If it has an infinite scroll, it's gone. Try to watch motivational or funny videos as it helps very much in development. Why? Because algorithmic feeds are specifically designed to hijack your decision-making process. Every swipe is a micro-decision. Every video is a, should I keep watching, moment. You're hemorrhaging cognitive energy on content that some engineer in Silicon Valley optimized to be addictive. If you need these apps for work, use them on your laptop with browser extensions that remove recommendations. Timebox them. 20 minutes, twice a day, scheduled. The goal here is simple: stop making 1,000 pointless decisions every day so your brain has energy left for decisions that actually matter. Step 2. Engage in progressive cognitive loading. Now that you've protected your battery, you need to actually use it on things that build synaptic density. This is where most people screw up. They think brain training means doing Sudoku or Lumosity games. Wrong. Those games make you better at those specific games. They don't transfer. What does work is learning skills that have high cognitive complexity and real-world stakes. Here's your hierarchy, from easiest to hardest. Level 1, learn a new language using comprehensible input methods. Not Duolingo. I'm talking about consuming content slightly above your level, forcing your brain to decode meaning from context. This builds pattern recognition and working memory. Level 2, learn to code. Specifically, solve algorithm problems on LeetCode or similar platforms. Why? Because coding forces your prefrontal cortex to hold multiple variables in working memory while manipulating abstract logical relationships. This is exactly the kind of load that increases fluid intelligence. Level 3, study mathematics or formal logic. Work through proofs. Solve problems that take 30 to 60 minutes of sustained thinking. This is the gold standard for building synaptic density. Here's the protocol: pick one of these. 60 minutes a day. No music. No phone nearby. Just you and the problem. And here's the key: it has to be hard. If it's not uncomfortable, you're not growing new connections. The feeling of "my brain hurts" is literally the feeling of neuroplasticity happening. Step 3, optimize the growth environment. Neuroplasticity doesn't just happen when you're learning. It happens when you're sleeping. Your brain uses deep sleep to consolidate new connections and prune away the ones you don't need. If you're sleeping 5 to 6 hours, you're sabotaging everything. Here's the non-negotiable protocol. 7 to 9 hours of sleep, same time every night. No screens 60 minutes before bed. Room temperature 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. Completely dark. And here's one more thing nobody talks about: cardiovascular exercise increases BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. This is literally miracle-grow for your brain. It promotes the growth of new neurons and synaptic connections. 30 minutes of Zone 2 cardio, 4 times a week. That's a heart rate where you can still talk but it's uncomfortable. This isn't optional if you actually want to increase cognitive capacity. The reality check. Look, I need to be honest with you. This isn't going to feel good at first. You're going to sit down to learn something hard and your brain is going to scream at you to check your phone. That's normal. That's the addiction talking. But here's what's actually happening: every time you resist that urge, every time you push through 10 more minutes of difficult cognitive work, you're literally rewiring your brain. In 30 days, you'll notice you can focus longer. In 90 days, you'll notice you can solve problems you couldn't solve before. In 6 months, if you took an IQ test, the number would be different. Not because you got smarter in some magical way, but because you rebuilt the infrastructure. You increased synaptic density. You protected your cognitive resources and invested them in growth. Your brain is not fixed. It's adaptive. But you have to use it the right way. Now turn off this video and go do something hard.